Right, so I did say midweek that this weekend we do a video of a bit of a sort of review running report of the 6480 Massey that usually lives here. I'm running around this morning trying to get a few bits and pieces sorted because I'm heading down. I've got a little job to do on a race, so she's ready to go next week. So, but yeah, we will get to it and we'll go through some stuff. So I thought I'd just ball a couple of points here. Those guys that don't know, she was my first tractor, the good old 88. She was always a bit bought with heart rather than head. Masses of power for any of the jobs I need to do, but only 30k, which the reality of it this day and age was quite a big mistake. I did kind of regret buying her, but I don't regret having her, if that makes sense. So the 6480 basically was bought because I was moving forwards, starting to do a little bit of contracting with my topper and that myself, and looking to expand that, and basically she was going to hold me back. I needed something 50k, 150 plus horsepower, I thought at the time. We'll get to that in a minute. Sort of just a practical all-round sort of tractor. It needed to be small enough to go in and do some of the small jobs I do with my topper, but at the same time big enough to stick a decent sized silage trailer and run with a big silaging crew. That was my criteria. Now everyone knows I was a big Massey fan, and there was no surprise that it was a Massey that came. Reality is though, it was just the fact that it was the right tractor. I actually had a look at, we all know about the Vulture. Also went to have a look at a couple of McCormick's. The one was only 40k, so that was a non-starter, too slow. Been there, done that. The other one, we see how I like to keep my tractors. This one was just a bit ropey around the edges. We couldn't trial it because it had a gearbox fault. It was slightly above where I'd set my budget, so chatted about a couple of New Hollands in cases. They either just weren't quite fitting the bill or they'd already gone. We had a look at, obviously, the Massey we have. We also had a look at another 6480 at another dealer. That same money, but I think the hours were about the same, but the spec was a bit lower. It just wasn't quite as tidy. It just didn't quite grab me. And the other one, I still think about this tractor, same as I do the well, I think I was right with the Vulture, but this other Massey, that was a 6490, so a bit more horsepower, brand new tyres all around. Okay, it was only on 520, 420, so a bit narrower, especially being on the taller tyres, made it look narrower. A few more hours, spec was sort of, it had a few things that mine didn't, but it was missing a few things that mine had for the same sort of money. Beautiful tractor, that, to be fair. No front linkage, that was a big thing. It had the front weights on, but mine doesn't have a drive shaft, which is what I really need. So that was kind of what I looked at, and the one I bought ticked the boxes and just sort of had that, I kind of like this one. So then she came. So, first question, has she worked for me? Well, reality is she's been to over half a dozen customers over the course of last year. She's clocked up about 500-600 hours. Massive, but first season, I'm saying that's a good starting point. Hopefully the way this year so far has turned out is hopefully a sign of things to come. She's done about a week or so's tanking. Well, first customer we went to, we've seen that video, a bit of a shot of it. And as to say, at the moment, she ain't in the shed. She went out end of last week, end of the week before. She's been out end of last week. She's been out all this week. She'll probably be out for the next couple of weeks. She's working. You can't argue with that. So, yeah. So far the story has been mostly okay. We've had a few hiccups along the way. Her first grass ferrying job, which I got a lovely picture. That picture was taken whilst the back tyre that I just changed, because we had, is that the cleaver? Yeah, that was me cleaver that it come on, mated to a brand new petless, which I didn't like that, you know, running bad on the diff. So that's why I put a pair of second-hand tyres on. And then on that ferrying job, it let go, which was very embarrassing because it was the first day with that customer. Then later on, she did it again. And that was the day before she was supposed to be going out ferrying again. So, hence the reason, Smurf went out. We all love seeing her out, and then she blew her radiator up. It's joys of machinery. I've had an ongoing battle with a light on the dash something to do with rear end hydraulic oil pressure. We changed all the filters. Spoke to a few people, narrowed it down to it was probably a dicky little sensor. Everything seems to be running fine. We've sorted the front suspension out and the light's gone. So, I mean, that was a summing of nothing. But on the whole, she's been generally good. Like I say, now we've got her fully shod on new tyres. We know the tyres are good. Yeah, I mean, she's wet around the back end, which I'll show you that in a bit. Which I think is something to do with spool couplers. She might end up having a new set of spools couplers, but we shall see. Anyway, I need to crack on and get further down. So we'll pick. So that's actually going to be it for part 2 of this video. Yeah, I'm going to split it up. So part 2 next week, we'll go through the finer point of things like, did I do the right thing buying a tractor to keep up with sort of modern times? Did I buy the right tractor? And a few other bits and pieces like that. So that's it. As always, don't forget to give it a grubby thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to have a look at the shop. You know, all that lot. So that's it. Stay safe, stay well. Don't forget to look after yourself and look after each other. And I hope you enjoy your Easter.